What is your updated price target for Bitcoin at the end of 2024 now? It's higher than 100,000?
I think somewhere in the 100 to 120,000 range by the end of next year is now looking likely. When I put out my first note a couple of months ago looking for 100,000, I talked about a number of drivers, and quite frankly, on each of those, I'm even more constructive than I was a couple of months ago. The first thing, which happened in March in the US, were US banking concerns, SVB, etc., that everyone knows about. That helped Bitcoin get from about 20,000 to about 30,000, which is roughly where we're trading again right now. Other drivers within there were the Fed hiking cycle likely to end. I suspect that happened last night in terms of what we heard from Fed Chair Powell during the presser. The Fed are very likely to be done now. It'd have to take very, very strong data going forward, and it's much more likely.
Wait, Jeff, I'm going to jump in for a second. So you're saying that some of this rally has been pegged to the idea that that was the last hike. So if we see another hike, does that hurt this crypto rally?
At the margin, you could argue that if the Fed were able to hike again going forward, or if they needed to, that could be actually because the US economy is stronger than people expect, right? Right now, the base case is that inflation keeps coming lower, growth slows a little bit, etc. So if you were to see an even stronger economic outcome, then probably that would see stocks perhaps actually edge a little higher, and the Fed could do maybe one more hike. So for them to do a lot more from here, I think is very, very unlikely, and that'd need to see inflation accelerating. All right, so as you mentioned, crypto has been out, doing very well since the collapse of SVB, up 18% since then. So have we officially seen the end of crypto winter? And is Wall Street starting to really understand the use cases for it? We've been talking about Bitcoin ETFs and things like that. Are we finally seeing an application that institutional investors can really jump into? For sure. Winter is over in terms of crypto. I called that a couple of months ago, and I stick by that today. Bitcoin's core use case is when there are concerns in the TradFi sector. We saw that a few months ago. And just now, and as Mackenzie just mentioned earlier, we're getting close to the next halving cycle. That's in about 9 months from now. In previous cycles, around 6 months out from that, Bitcoin prices have started heading sharply higher. I expect the same this time. It's partly on the back of that core use case around the TradFi sector as well, but also because Bitcoin miners should do better.
And there you see from Geoff Kendrick, the head of crypto research in EMFX West at Standard Charter. And what he's talking about is what he sees Bitcoin and crypto markets going by the end of 2024. By the end of 2024, he's calling for a $100,000 to $120,000 price target. That's not his peak. That's just what he's calling by the end of next year. So definitely bullish from that lens. And he's talking about inflation going down. But as you see, home prices, gas, and food is still on to the upside. Like home sales are slowing down, but the home prices are still substantially inflated from 2020. Inflation is not the problem. Debasement is the problem. So that's what we want you guys to know, that monetary debasement, your dollars are debasing. You need an option to hedge out, to opt out of the system and be your own bank and also outpace the monetary debasement. Bitcoin is that one tool set that can help you do that. And with that, what's happening, crypto crew? Sean's coming back at you, another cryptocurrency video. Getting straight into it and continuing. What are we looking at today? Philip Swift from Positive Crypto. Buy near Bitcoin balance price and wait. Every single time this comes down to this orange line, just go all in and just sit and wait and hold tight till the next peak. Every single time we come down there, that's near or around the low. Every single time. And you can sit here, and once again, you can find this balance price chart and look in Bitcoin. And right now, around this line, the 15.9 level, that was the time to go all in. Now, could we come back down? Possibly. That's not out the realm of possibility. But if history's an indication, you can see that once you get near this line, and you just hold and wait and be patient. Time is that true essence of value. If you're patient, you'll definitely be rewarded. And then take a look at some charts here to see what we can see in the markets. This is Ethereum versus Bitcoin on the weekly charts. And we're looking at the Heikin-Ashi candles here. And what do we anticipate for Ethereum? So as you see, Ethereum, looking at the RSI, came and bottomed out per this price structure. And we can shrink this down a little bit, and you can see we bottomed out way back in September 2019. And it's just been stair-stepping its way up. Then it got overbought here, and then put in a higher high, another higher high, and then another higher high, and then sort of a double top here. As you see, these higher highs keep getting lower. We just put in a higher low here. when we haven't really seen a bottoming out structure yet. So we could come down and put in lower price action. As you see, this trend's your friend to the end. And if you look here, you see you put in a high, a higher low, a higher low. Could we put in a lower low, and could alts melt against Bitcoin even more? The Bitcoin bros think so. We think that we could see this pushed down to the downside. How low could we go? Time will tell, but as you see, we have not been extremely oversold yet. And right now we put in our first higher low here, and the trend's your friends to the end. The next lower level that we have to break is this level here around the 0.48 level. So could Ethereum fall down lower, another 1.5 percentage points? That could happen, and we could see Ethereum fall into the depths. So be patient, be wary. The Ethereum dominance, what we see here, we see the similarities as we see we bottomed out and just been trending upwards. And look what happened. We broke this trend. We broke this upwards trend, hit our head here, put in a higher low, and we really haven't seen lower price action yet. We did see this red area here, but this Ethereum dominance could fall as well. Is there going to be a shock? Is Bitcoin going to take over? This is something that you want to be cognizant of, because this looks like this could turn into a very bearish chart in the short to mid term. And then looking at the total crypto market capitalization, what do we see? What do we anticipate? And every peak we see a retracement and then some type of double bottom pattern formation before we see that next blast up to the upside. Every single time it's a similar rinse repeat. Double bottom action, then a blast up to the upside. Double bottom action, blast to the upside. Look where we are right now. Make this a little bit bigger so you can actually see this play out. Double bottom action. We haven't quite had that blast up to the upside. Not yet. And every single time we see this double bottom action, the RSI has been oversold, stair stepping its way up. Every single time, oversold, stair stepping its way up. And then every single time oversold, stair steps its way back up. So if history's any indication of what's to come, we could see a macro blast off to the upside once again. How high is this going to go? Nobody knows, but if we pull out some tool sets and we look at the fib extension levels and we see how high Bitcoin went based off the previous high, and this went up to roughly around the 3.618. Prior to that, if we look and see what Bitcoin did during this pullback here, Bitcoin went way over the 3.618, as you see here, blasted up past it. The 4.236 easily got met and shot above it. So then if we look here and see where a technical target could be based off the floor and the previous high, let's measure here to here. 3.618 could take this total crypto market capitalization up to $5 trillion. Now, mind you, this is excluding Bitcoin. So this is everything else outside of Bitcoin. So if this is $5 trillion and Bitcoin's at least at 40%, you can see like sort of roughly what Bitcoin could be. The overall crypto market capitalization might be 7 to 8 trillion. If Bitcoin's at 40%, at 50%, it'd be at 8 trillion. You get the picture, but all in all, there's more money that's coming into the space, and it's definitely going to get extremely bullish. And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. You guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate the support. With that, that's all I have for you today, and I'm out.